Hope Channel, changing lives.
Hi, it's another Wednesday, and once again, good evening and welcome to the program, Wounds of the Heart. We are here to help you to be educated and to help you heal any form of wound that has been caused by traumatic experiences, emotional torture, or whatever. Please, today, I would like you to just get glued to your seat or wherever you are, because we are here to deal with this issue. And it is an issue that a lot of people are getting themselves into it. As it's getting closer to the year, a lot of events, and still people will get closer to it. So I would like you to tell a friend that here, the program has started. It's 4 o'clock already. The program has started, and it's Wounds of the Heart here on Hope TV GH Studios. Today, as you said, Slick Afrique fabric all the time, points on Slick Afrique, Instagram Slick Afrique, Facebook Slick Afrique. Just call them 0557 355-852. Just call them, and they will just deliver whatever you select. Now they are extending the fabric, not alone fabric. They are adding a lot of things to it. So please just go to their page and see for yourself. Alpha had to always bring me on the flyer and my guests on the flyer. Alpha, God bless you for the work you're doing, and we hope and pray that God will elevate you. And if you want Alpha Art, on Facebook it's Alpha Art Graphics. On Instagram is alphaart_graphics, and his contact is 0551 404 387. 0551 404 387. And Alpha Art will just design however you want the design to be. If you want to ask questions or if you need help after this program, you can drop your contact on our WhatsApp platform 0559 680066, and we'll find you someone to talk to. If not myself, somebody will be assigned for you to help you deal with anything you're going through. As I said, we are getting closer to the year, and a lot of events will come up, Christian and social events and stuff like that. If you have never seen the flyer, today we are discussing what alcohol addiction is. And I have with me here my senior, Philip Ofori-Ntumi. He has been with us sometimes now, dealing with PTSD. We dealt with dementia. Today we are talking about alcohol addiction. You know, remember in dementia, he said one of the factors that probably may cause dementia is alcohol. Then it pricked me that we need to talk about alcohol and alcohol addiction. Senior, good evening.
Good evening.
And I know this might be my last time hosting him on the studio, and from here I wouldn't see him. Probably I may see him on Zoom before December. And Senior, you made mention of alcohol when we were discussing about the dementia. In all, in the scriptures it said for stomachache a little alcohol, so people are using that test to do a little bit boozing kind of stuff. Why is it good for us to take alcohol? And what is alcohol, and what happens to it to become addiction?
Thank you very much. And with the analogy that he gave, like the scripture that you gave, right? There are also other scriptures where it talks that alcohol is for mockery.
It's for mockery.
And then,
of it.
Right. And then it also says that great men should not drink alcohol. And I saw this on social media, where it said great men should not drink alcohol. And then somebody wrote under, who told you I want to be a great man?
That person doesn't want to be a great man. So okay.
Okay. You know, so now I'm not going to say that great men should not drink. You should not. Whether you want to be great or not. No. Okay. So now let's talk about addiction. There's a general rule of thumb. Anything or everything in moderation is good, right? And I'm going to talk about generally addiction for a few minutes, then we can get into the subject matter or the specialty alcohol. So that rule of thumb that anything in moderation is good means that let's not do anything out of moderation. But let's also not use that rule of thumb to interpret that anything at all is good for consumption.
Okay.
Do you get my point?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So though things in moderation are good, it does not also mean that everything is good for consumption. Okay, that being said, Now, addiction in general is when you are stuck on something and use it repetitively and also use it or feels that you need it to survive. Then you become addicted to it, right? So there are a few things that you want to watch out for if you are wondering you have addiction or if you are wondering that somebody has addiction. I go to bed thinking about it. I have to use it to stay active. I have to use it to be able to function. Oh, say me boy na mitimi didi. Drive anyway this one no say want me drive. Then that person is an alcoholic. Or that person is addicted to whatever it is, the substance it is, right? So, someone who is addicted to masturbation, when the urge comes, during a meeting, they'll get up and go and do and come back.
Shy.
Yes. So whatever addiction that you are used to or you are addicted to, whatever thing that you are addicted to, let's understand that it is where you're not able to even control whether today I'm not going to do it or tomorrow I'm not going to do it. There is that consistency and intensity, right, for you to do it, and you do it. So it's just like OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. There's the obsession and the compulsion, right? They wanted to do and the doing, the action. So now, in addiction, some of it does not always manifest in flesh. Some are in the mind. So alcohol, yes, you go, you drink, right? Then you use it. There are certain also addictions where you are obsessed with something. Always you have to be thinking about it, stay thinking about it. You know, you can't keep your mind off it for a period. Yes, you become addicted to that. So that is the general principle of addiction, something that you hooked onto. So now, alcohol or substance. Now that we've done the general addiction, let's come to substance. Then we'll get to alcohol.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So recently was having a conversation with someone, and then he just walked up to me. It's someone I knew though, but we're not talking about anything in particular. I was having a conversation with somebody else. He just walked up to me and was like, hey, so if somebody is addicted to marijuana, what would you tell the person? I was like, no, it's with me. So I asked him, what I would say to the person is, one, why it's not good to be addicted to substance, right? Because now I'm talking about substance in general. I just had to use that to bring home a point. Why it is not good to be addicted to substance, the challenges, the difficulties, the dangers associated with being addicted to any substance at all. Then that would be my approach. Then he said, so what about if the person stops and then after a while goes back to it? Then my answer was, my next approach would be why. So why were you able to stop? Why did you relapse or go back to it? So you're able to stop for maybe 3 months. Could it be, you've heard me talk about nature and nurture. Could it be that it's your nature, your environment, which is making you do it? So people who are addicted to substances, usually the supplier, right? It's in the environment. Maybe their friends are all doing it. Social pressure got him into it the first time. So it will get you back to where he took you from, right? So yes, you may break, but then you go back to it. Because nothing has changed in the environment. It could be that you are using it as a poor coping skill, maladaptive behavior. So you were using that substance to cope with an anxiety that you have or to cope with the depression that you have or some schizophrenic paranoia psychosis that you are having. You're using the substance to cope with it. If the why is not taken away, whatever you do, you still have that temptation to go back to it, right? So now, if I'm to ask you, and the question was, if I stopped and go back, what would you tell me? Or what would be your response? Then you have to dig into the why. When I said that, he was like, I say I saw for a mom. And then I told him, in defense to the pastors, everybody have their specialty. Yes, pastors may be trained in various fields because, yes, they can't specialize in one. Because somebody will come up with another problem, right? So they'll be trained in various fields, but then this may not be their specialty. And that is why you always have to seek for the professional help or opinion. So now, we've talked about generally what addiction is, different substances, and we can get to so many substances, right? Exactly. From drugs, whatever it is. Let me say this quickly, then we'll get into alcohol. When it comes to drug addiction, especially medications that we take, example, opioids, right? Pain medication, pain pills. Somebody may have an accident, then they have to be put on pain pills, and then they become tolerant to the medication, right? And then they start to build tolerance to the medication. They have to get higher dose, and then they now become dependent on the medication. Realize the steps: tolerance, dependent, then addicted. Just like alcohol too, which we're going to get into. So you start taking the pain pills, and then you become tolerant to that dosage, then you depend on it. So if you don't take it, you cannot thrive, you cannot do whatever. So you always have to take that narcotics before you're able to perform. Then it gets to a point where you become dependent, right? So tolerance, dependence, and then addiction. Then you become addicted to the substance. So the point I wanted to make about pain pills is sometimes it is not intentional to use a substance to get addicted to it. But the use of it exposes you to being addicted to it. So we have to be mindful. Anything at all, or any medication at all that we are given, please take it as prescribed. There is a reason why we prescribe with frequency and dosage. So take 5 milligrams twice a day. I, as the provider, knows that if I give you that much and you take it as it is, you will not be addicted to it. But then you feel like, oh, I still have some pain, and you pop another one. You have some pain, you pop another one. Master, pain is part of life. Exactly. I'm just giving you enough to where you can deal with, but not to knock you out where you can fracture. So we take more, and then we become addicted to it. With that being said, I'm not saying also that do not take medications when they are prescribed to you. Right? Because some people have that fear. Oh, if I take it, I may get addicted to it, so I don't want to take it. No. Please take it because we give you just enough to where you need. If you take it where you feel like it's making you too drowsy, then be cautious enough, talk to your provider, and need to be adjusted. Now, let me also quote one thing that a recovering addict told me, and then I'll get to alcohol. Please bear with me. I'm taking you on a journey. Therefore, you know, I'm not there yet. So the final part of what this patient told me was, you don't understand. Once you get high, you never get high anymore. And he was a heroin addict. Okay, right? Recovery. And I asked him a question, because he was a frequent flyer. The people refer to as frequent flyer, like they come in, you treat them, they go, next month they are back. Sometimes 3 days they are back. So I asked him, dude, why can't he just stop? He was like, you don't understand. Once you get high, you don't get high again. All that you're doing is chasing the first high. And that is when I understood when Solomon said, all is vanity.
All right, so carry on.
So because now all that you are doing is chasing something that you're never going to get. Exactly. So it's vanity. Okay, now to the point of alcohol. People get addicted to alcohol for various reasons. There are certain substances that are addictive substances, right? Or have addictive properties in it. So certain medications you take, you never be addicted to it, or don't have the potential to be addicted to it. But then there are certain medications you take, you have the high potential to be addicted to it. 1, opiates. 2, benzos, which is Ativan, lorazepam, Klonopin, Xanax, and the likes, right? Then we get into the other hard drugs, then we get into alcohol. So now let me narrate more. Alcohol has a high tendency of addiction with it. And that is why once you take one bottle, you go for the next, right? One thing I've always thought about is if I drink this water, the full bottle, right, I'll get full. It's very difficult for me to sit and drink like 3, 4 at a sitting. But then an alcoholic will drink 1 liter. I have a picture, I'll show it to you after this. The lady's jar was like that. I was like, hey, madam. Right? She was drinking all that. And she drank all of that at a sitting. But if you had given her water, she could not have.
So what is in alcohol? What is in that
Okay. So it is the way it's brewed. It gets fermented. Then it is the feeling it gives you. And with addiction, that is what it comes down to. It is the feeling, and that's why I use the quote from the patient. Once you get that feeling, you don't get it again, right? Okay, so with alcohol, it is the feeling that it gives you that you want to get.
I think that if you're addicted, you have been in recovery, addicted alcohol, addict recovery, I will be very glad that you just send us your contact and probably will bring you up here. So for us, you are in recovery, you've quit, you also wouldn't want people to get into it. So if you can use yourself as an example to preach the gospel of quitting alcohol on my program, I'll be very glad for it. So you can send your contact to our WhatsApp platform or leave it on Facebook page, Hope TV GH, and we'll just pick it up and talk to you so that we can arrange as to how you come here to share with us and the viewers because the feeling he's taking, unless somebody who had been there before.
But Mali, you who feels it knows it.
Aha.
I've not felt it. But then I've treated people.
You treated people.
So I can talk from, the experience I have with them, but I'm not recovering.
Exactly. Let's go.
Nothing wrong with people who are recovering because it's an illness, they're recovering. So I'm not, picking on them. Not that, but I'm just saying, you who feels it knows it. So they can give you the first-hand experience as to how it started, the journey through it and all. Okay, so now, it's the feeling. As humans, emotions plays huge part of us, right? So whatever makes us feel good is what we always go for, the feel-good effect, right? Mine is pH. This is the FE, right? FEE. Before it sounds something else. So the feeling that we get is what we always chase it for. So now there's also the fermentation process that it goes through and all of that, which gives you that taste, feel, and then the numbness that you also get, right? So now it gives you the expression, or it makes you have the expression that you may not be aware of what is going on. Because some people premeditate and use that as a cover-up, right? So now, if I want to do something, but then this one, it's not about flesh and blood, right? You can't use any kind. You can't use your bare eyes to do it. So you need
top up.
You need top up. So then you go for it just to be able to perform, right? So if you look at the music industry or entertainment industry, substance abuse and addiction is very high in that group. Because in most cases, they are not able to do it without being aided with a substance or anything like that. So they typically go for substances. Now, that is one. Two, let me start with why people get into it. Why people get into it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about once again, nature versus nurture.
Genetics
and environment. So genetic predisposition is very real with addiction. Example, if my grandfather was an alcoholic, right, I am predisposed to me also being an alcoholic or having a form of addiction. So my grandfather may have been an alcoholic. My drug of choice will not be alcohol.
Okay, maybe something else.
It may be something else. But then it still stems from that. It's the genetic predisposition. Now, if a mother also uses any substances, alcohol, drugs, or anything, and has a baby, right, we have something we call fetal alcohol syndrome. Sometimes if you look at someone's head, you can tell that this person, the mom was an alcoholic.
Okay,
they have that defect.
And for me,
right. So sometimes you can look at someone's face, their head, and they'll be like, this person, the mother was alcoholic, right? So that happens. So now, and then also, the mother being an alcoholic can also make that person predisposed genetically to be an addict. So that is the genetic predisposition. The other thing also is the nature, the environment. I've lived with my parents. Alcohol being in the house is a normal thing. You know, that is how you take our communion. So that is how we start the day, right? So it's a normal experience for me. That's what I grew up around. Therefore, that is what I also do. My mom always tells us, Right? If you don't see me prepare something, you don't eat it. Right? That is the simplest thing. So if I grew up in my house, we don't drink, it's very difficult. It's not always 100%, but it's difficult to have someone who becomes an addict from a house where there's no addict. Yeah, exactly. It does happen though, so don't challenge yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So the peers, you're going to meet people.
That is the next thing I'm moving into. Okay, so the next thing is also the peer influence or the peer pressure. People that you socialize with, right? Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Right? So you see people using it and then you always feel like, then what is it? That is innate that they drink and they feel so happy and now let me also do it. So you associate with them for some time, it gets to a point, then it's like, let me try. You try, oh, so this is what it is. Let me try again. Oh, this one I took maybe beer and I understand beer is not that strong. If you get into the gin, then you're drinking like a man. Right? I went to visit a friend and she was an Adventist, I would say was an Adventist, and then she brought me a drink. It was in a can, right? And then she also brought juice, which was already in the glass. But I don't trust her like that. So we bring her, I don't drink anything. First of all, the juice, why did you pour it before bringing it to me?
Exactly.
And then the can one too, Charlie, they suspect you already. Right, and that was like a very close relative. But still, I suspected that she could give me alcohol. Not that she would do anything else to me, but the alcohol part. So I looked at the thing, I started turning it around. She was like, oh, this is only 5%. This is how they say, yeah, man, and yeah, no.
I'll be asking the percentage very soon.
So, you know, you start with a beer. You realize, that one, they just give you, it makes you pee too much. So that one is no drink. Then you move on into the stronger one. Then you move on to the stronger one because you're now chasing after the wind, right? So now you get into all of that. So you have to drink this level to get drunk. Now, somebody to be like, oh, I drink but I don't booze, right? Okay, so now you're drinking to have that feeling for what? Sometimes my friends ask me, so how do you have fun? Then I ask the question, you are drunk performing this act. I may be able to do the same thing, not drunk. Me, I love to dance. Yeah. Those who knows me, I love to dance. Nancy, that's 70 minutes. But I really love to dance. So I will go to a party, a function, and I'll crash the party. Like I will dance the whole time. Not under any influence. Because I really want to have fun. That's my form of exercise, one of, right? So me doing that and you under the influence dancing, who is having fun?
You have the fun more than the person.
I remember everything I did. Right? So you finish and you don't remember. So how did you have fun? Right?
That's so weird,
yeah. So that is so now back to the one that is addicted. I just wanted to say that for those of us going through the pressure, so that you don't have to do it to have fun. Far from that. Okay, so now to the addiction part. You drink, you move on, you start, and then you have to get into something stronger. That is one. You also have to drink more now, right? So as I talked earlier, somebody has to drink to be able to eat because they told them, they will tell you it gives them an appetite. Must I forget to copy Madam Catherine. So, or go look for something else that will really give you appetite, not the alcohol. Somebody too will tell you that if I don't drink, I'm not able to drive. It means that you are an alcoholic. But this is the problem though, acceptance. How many people accept that they are alcoholics?
None of them accept it. I don't know. You've never seen any alcoholic, someone who is even drunk to the gutters will tell you.
Carrying the slippers.
Yeah, will tell you he's fine, he's fit. I don't know whether is the what's in the alcohol that gives them that. I don't know. You see, in the weed, in the weed. I learned there's this chemical in the THC. When you smoke, it enters directly into the brain and that causes you to do also. But in alcohol, you were saying that those in the beer doesn't let people piss and stuff like that, but they enter that feeling. No one have drank alcohol to see a smiley face. I don't know, but even
especially the stronger ones.
Exactly. But so what is the feeling around?
For the stronger ones, it has the burning sensation.
Just the gene, the
apeteshi, the gene, and all that.
I'm friend, they call it spirit.
Yes,
yeah.
There's also the spirit. So those one has the burning sensation, and that is why their face, the facial expression changes, right? Because
so even with that, I wish we'll get somebody who had gone through this before to tell us. Even so far as even it was burning and it you beat your chest, stuff like that, and still they'll be taking it.
Have you heard this before? Obonsu Yedi.
But see,
yes.
When someone is addicted to something, I will still come back to my colleagues, ministers. You know, it's not about prayers. We'll get there. It's not about prayers. That person needs a serious counseling sessions, periodic ones. Have a therapy with the person, 1, 2, 3, for the person to open up with what he's doing. Because if the person doesn't accept, as he's saying, there's not going to be anything. Because you can't force somebody to drink medicine, and they will throw it out and drink water. But causes, you said one, some people, the predisposing, if a family member has something, it is beautiful, the person may become, unless or other, and sometimes peers also, as we're saying, colleagues working, Charlie, Moku go do something small because Charlie, that makes you a man. Charlie. And we'll follow his guys. Friday night, we'll follow his guys, and we'll just fold their shirts, losing their ties. They sit somewhere and they boil a little bit. And that is that was the first stage. The first stage. Then you become dependent. That now every Friday night we go and we booze, and from that stage, then it comes to being addicted to it, and nothing can be done unless that person needs help. Aside this, then, can I say that financial those who are dusted, those probably who are want to be known, like I'm a studio guy, I come sit here and do this thing because of fear and panic. I need to top up small so that I'll be able to. Can that also cause me to? That
is what I was talking about in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Right. So they use that to be able to have the high to be able to perform. Right.
Then how do they get their lyrics?
No, because. I have a friend who says that.
I hope you get my question.
No, I understand. I was just smiling because of a friend's what he said. I was like, Master, so he's drunk, but then still with it enough to be able to remember the lyrics or get the lyrics. Some people even tell you that they get the inspiration when they are under influence.
That is yes. So these people will teach the younger generations that it is beautiful to...
Because that is how you get the lyrics, or you be in the spirit, or you no. So you know illusions, right? So sometimes you have illusions, and then they think that they're having a connection with the spirit, or they are in a different world, but then really you're having an illusion. Yes. So that is also there. Sometimes also they drink where they are drunk, but then the state in which they are, whatever is going on, some will finish and still remember. So for that reason, yes, they will be able to bring in the lyrics from wherever, you know, the space in which they were, and then be able to bring the spirit. But that is not really like, oh, I do it for inspiration. No, if you really want to get inspiration or be inspired, then be in a more quiet place, meditate. That is way better. That kind of inspiration comes to the soul, right? So that is a bit different. Okay, now, so with, you were talking about those who are wealthy.
Exactly.
So one was kind of nom sapa. But
so that is sapa, you see,
right.
It's a cause, and that person will become an addict to that.
Very true. That is very true. But this is the thing too about those people. That in sapa that they drink, the quality drinks that they drink, right? One is more expensive. And with people who are financially wealthy, just as I mentioned on the dementia one, for those who are wealthy, because they are able to eat well and maintain themselves well, therefore you don't see the alcohol drawing them, as we put it in the local
way,
right? Okay. Drawing them, like they don't disfigure from the use of alcohol. But for people who are not wealthy and were able to manage themselves and maintain, you realize that they have the asthesis, right? The poor belly, right? The beer belly. Right, they start having that. So they start having that, and then you also see from their face and everything, because they are not eating well and everything. Once you do alcohol, you lose certain vitamins, Let me get medical a little bit.
Exactly.
You lose certain vitamins once you do alcohol. So as part of the alcohol treatment, there are certain vitamins that we have to give you, such as thiamine, right? B, vitamin B also, right? So you lose these vitamins. So with time, your body will start to expose you. When the foundation is weak.
The building will just collapse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, the body will start to expose you. And that is why you start to see the disfiguring. But for those who are wealthy and able to maintain, they will drink and then be using the supplement.
Okay.
We have IV therapy for especially those who are very wealthy or in the wealthy community. We have IV therapy set up where people will go drink, come do the IV and then get replaced and then they move on back to work. But then let's stick to the addiction. So now I just jumped into treatment.
But that still is side effect because if I take alcohol,
you can blow your veins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's also not a go area. So
no, right. So I didn't say that to say that do it because you can do this. No, what the point I was trying to make is now it complicates your life.
Exactly.
Right. That's the point I was trying to make. It complicates your life.
Exactly. Any cause why somebody would just drink and drive? Wow.
Social status.
Okay.
So now, I've heard that I don't play golf, but I heard that if you want to be around the rich people or get good contracts and stuff, start playing golf because
the rich start playing.
It's a big boy game. So also it said also that if you want to be at the boardroom, you have to be at the wine table.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So if you want to be at the boardroom, you have to be at the wine table. So it means that if you want to really roll with the big boys and, be able to get promotions and get advanced into certain positions, then you have to associate with them. You have to be drinking with them. You have to do all of that.
Exactly.
I have a friend that they wanted to make him the year group president of his high school. SS. And then they were like, Charlie, if you don't drink, how can we use you, right? Because that is, whenever I come to Ghana, and then I organize an event, usually the participation is very low because Masa, but when the other boys dance and Charlie, you guys see people, they come because some bottles go crack.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, if you want to be accepted, if you want to have the social class, the social status, then you have to also crack bottles, right? So that you can be there. So that is the other cause also. For social stature, social recognition also.
All right. So you were talking about the 5% staff. Is it the whole bottle that contains the 5%? Or
per serving.
Or per serving or whatever?
It is the bottle. So it's more of proportional. So let's say this thing is 5%. If you pour here, you've poured 5% of the quantity you've poured.
So 2.5?
No, it's still 5% of this quantity.
So any serving you serve has...
Right.
I want,
okay,
so let's say... You understand?
Yeah. Let's say if I put something of color into this, right? And then that thing is 10%, right? Okay, now, if you pour, this is, I think, 0.5 ml, right? Okay, so if you pour 0.25 of the 0.5 ml, which is the total size, right? If you pour half of it, you still poured 10% of 0.25.
So okay, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the percentage is always in the quantity. So to the question, right? If you say per serving, and I pour like this much for you, right? It's still 5% of this much. I didn't pour 0.01.
Okay.
Of the 5%.
Okay. I know a lot of people will ask questions about or write about what he's saying because I asked this question because you see the bottle rated probably 0.75%, okay, 10%, 12%, 15%, depending on the thing. But I asked, somebody would just there will be a little in a glass and the person is boozed or it's gone. Then I'm asking that question because if I should take the whole bottle, am I taking that the 5% in my system, or as to what have
a proportion of
exactly,
what you pour? No, you're taking 5% of what you poured.
Okay.
So once again, let me repeat for those.
Exactly.
This is 0.5 ml, right? Let's say I have 10% alcohol in this. If I pour 0.5 of the liquid, right? I'm not pouring 0.2% of the alcohol. I'm pouring 10% of the 0.1 liquid that I poured.
Okay.
Because the percentage is not concentrated at the top or at the bottom. It is part of it.
Exactly.
So once you pour in that percentage
of what you have poured in there. So if this is 0.5, I don't know. I don't say if the example I'll make will answer what he said. So now if this bottle has 0.5% of alcohol, the level I have here, I'll still have the 0.5.
Yes.
Then I think it's fine. So you see, in as much as she will say that it's 5%, there are a lot of alcohols where the women just bounce into. Now even the women drinks more than the men, if I should be. But few women become alcoholics than we the men. I don't know, but let me put it that way, because women, I quite remember when we were young, you used to stay in a place. This woman will call us, a friend of mine. If Frank will one day watch this video, you know what I'm talking about. We will later, and this woman will send us to buy alcohol for her, the local one, local gin Akpet. But you know, in those days, if you are sent and you don't go, there's this thing. So you need to go. Even those of us who will be sent to go buy cigarette and try to let go light bra kind of stuff. And I told Frank, Charlie, Master, now. Woman, and it's not good for women to drink alcohol, as young as we were. So when a woman asks us to buy, she has a special bottle she sends us to buy. Then we should buy full of this thing. We'll buy half and we'll pour water. You see?
Dilution.
That is what we... So in as much as we can't tell the woman we won't go, because then times you can't say that. It's
a bad boy.
Then the woman will drink it. Frank. Sorry, Frank, today where did you go and buy this thing? Oh, we went to the place you said, and they are not shekra. And the woman stopped sending us. It was a good way to just get ourselves off from the woman's addiction. And women will drink and they will never do what, they will just talk. Women will talk plenty. Men mostly will do the work and run the God and stuff like that. But women wouldn't do that. That's why when you compete with a woman, drink alcohol. Men, please don't go there. There are a lot of structure. I'm not going to sit here to talk about it, but we'll talk it after the program. And it's serious, senior. Now we've seen the causes. We've seen how does alcohol affect the brain? How does it affect the system? How does it affect the family tie? How does alcohol affect us as a human? And why shouldn't we even venture? Those of us who have started taking a sip, please. This is the part we need to hear, senior.
So let me start with the relationship first, right? So now you start drinking, and then you come home and start talking rubbish. Charlie, now all of us are patient like that too. If you come home and start talking rubbish to me, whether you're under the influence or not influence, I take it personal.
Exactly.
Because if you go and drink and come and talk rubbish to me, it means you thought about, I can't do it without doing it. So I need...
It's intentional.
Yes, it's intentional.
Plan,
right? When I was younger, we lived at Ofanko, which is where I still live, though. And then there was one guy who was a senior brother to a mate of mine, and he used to drink. And then one day he went to drink and came home and we started misbehaving. And his senior brother, Masa, nice slaps, gave it to him. And then the mom was like, "I know, yes, I wouldn't so abon, no, yes, I no, say, Debbie, mom, boy, or shedder, or course, or baby." Into a quabba, right? So now I'm not saying let's be violent. That is not what I'm preaching. But what I'm saying is that if you do that, you can mess up your relationship with family.
Exactly.
If you cannot do it while sober, don't do it when you're drunk. Or don't think that you're going to get drunk and then come and do it. That is one, because it messes up relationship with family.
Exactly.
The other thing is, now you do things and most of the times you don't remember. So you may ask, pardon my words, stupidly, right? So you act stupidly and then you later on regret. So in order not to say sorry, then make sure that what you're doing, you are very cognizant of what you are doing.
Exactly.
Also, it may land you into troubles. One, DUI, driving under influence. So the police may stop you, and then you drunk, and then one thing leads to the other, right? The other thing is accident. You are not the only one that is going to suffer from the accident. Exactly. The poor family or person going somewhere, now you've made him incapacitated due to your negligence of drinking, okay? Now, the other thing also is you drink, and then there's this girl that you always eyed, right? Had an eye for. Once again, you couldn't do it sober, so you go drink, and then you think, oh, now you have a rape charge against you, exactly. Right? Exactly. So all of these does happen. Then now, health-wise,
exactly,
alcohol-induced dementia is real. You can have it. So constant use of alcohol affects your brain, and then you start having dementia symptoms. The other thing also is cirrhosis of the liver, right? So you have cirrhosis of the liver, and sometimes that's what part of why they have that, right? Especially when it's on the right side. So you start having the cirrhosis of the liver because your liver starts to enlarge and is not metabolizing very well.
Like to the right side. No, I think it's
this one is because of the buildup of the fluids, right? Okay. But then this one is because of the enlargement of the liver.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So now you have the cirrhosis of the liver. Now the liver doesn't work so well. What the liver does for the body is to break down waste, and then it sends it to the kidney or the other parts, and then it excretes, right? It gets rid of it. The body gets rid of the... So now when you have bad liver and it's not able to break down substances well, then what you have is toxic buildup. So you may even take medication, paracetamol, right? It's not breaking it down well. So now you have toxicity from the paracetamol. Right? You may eat something, the liver is not breaking it down well, so you have fatty buildup or you have other buildup, and then now you start to suffer from it. So medically, that is what happens. Okay. The other thing also that may happen is the brain function. Exactly. If you ever seen a scan of an alcoholic's brain, you realize that it does not look normal as that of the other person. So it distorts and so it just messes up your brain functioning. And because of the physical damage to the brain, it reflects in our activities. And that is why an alcoholic is very difficult for them to quit, one. Two, it's very difficult for them to correct their behavior because that now becomes their norm. So an alcoholic's brain, what even makes them as part of the genetic predisposition, what makes them an addict is because even the formation of the brain, the way it's made up and everything, then makes them to be more prone to being addicts.
Then that is why alcohol addiction everywhere you see when you enter the Google search alcohol, everyone is talking about. In as much as there are a lot of addictions, they say alcohol is something else. With the brain, I know that's something to the heart, we'll come there, but with the brain, no wonder currently on our TV set you could see most adverts, alcohol adverts are for, you see the young guys are the ones sharing the adverts because of money, fine, that's their business. But in as much as visually tells us, like when we watch something, it enters because hey, Charlie, this is my guy, my age mate doing that. If it's destroys the brain, then the 10 years in the life of the Ghanaian community, who are going to be the doctors, who are going to be the lawyers, who are going to be the engineers. I don't know what, Senior, what the projection I'm making, you understand. So now if we play with alcohol, start drinking alcohol like it's a norm, Friday evening we booze, Friday evening we booze is a norm, and if you don't drink, you are not part of the society, blah, 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 and you are doing all these things. The next 10 years to come, then in as much as we are going to school to learn to become a professional, then probably we will turn into abuse professionals, alcohol drinking association, something of that sort. And
that is why when we question the norms of the society right now, I want to tell you that it's not by mistake, it's by our own deeds.
That is
when I was growing up, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, you could barely see someone smoking outside in public.
Sharp.
Alcoholism, which were even more of the norm. You didn't see people drink like that in social setting out there like that. The big men will even have like a special table where usually the lightning over there is darker, right? And then that is where they will sit because it wasn't something that was socially acceptable. But let me say, not everything that is legal is good.
Exactly.
Let that sink in. Not everything that is legal is good. We legalize so many things for so many reasons. Economic, main one. Master, the government needs their money. They don't care about your health. Plain and simple. If they did, there are so many things that has to be illegal. But the government don't care. They'll tell you for taxes purposes. See, I'm not a prophet, but in Ghana, very soon we'll legalize marijuana. It is not just because it helps with depression and anxiety. No. It is for the economic reasons. Because we can grow and make money out of it. Why not? And that is some of the arguments. And that's why in some states in the U.S., they already legalized it. It is for economic, plain and simple. When heroin epidemic hit, it was for the economic reason. It was not because of anything else. So please, be mindful. Not everything that is legal is good for you. Therefore, alcohol is legal, and that's why I'm saying that. But it's not good for you. Now, back to the question. So I had to just put that soapbox out. No,
Senior, it is, because I know, DG, it is up to the younger guys and the younger folks, the ladies and guys who now think that when you go to places, events, you don't see Fanta, you don't see Malty, you don't see Coke, you don't see all those things. What you see is the thing poured in the glass. So you mix it and you just pour it and then you'll be sipping. And they walk majestically like there's nothing.
They work with the world on their shoulders.
Exactly. And like the
Pastor, let me tell you one funny thing. Cultural differences, right? Or cultural shock. When I went to the States, I didn't know that those who drink alcohol drink in a red cup.
Okay. Yeah, they are red.
Yeah, red plastic, disposable cup will be white. Pastor experience. So, I didn't know that about it. So we went to a function, and then I poured my juice into the red cup, and I held it for almost the whole time, right? And usually the alcoholics are those that hold on to their cup for a long time because if not, you're drinking the juice, you put it somewhere, or your water you drink, you put it somewhere. So I held on to this cup and I was walking. So someone walked up to me and was like, and you knew Paul? And I'm saying, yeah, because Paul went there first. So, and I was like, yeah, that is my brother. He doesn't drink. I was like, I don't drink either. I was like, then why are you walking around with this red cup? I said, hey, Basa. Immediately I put it somewhere.
Simple as that. They understand the language.
Yes, it's because, red cup alcohol. And I did not know. So I just, hold it. So sometimes you also have to be mindful, the community in which you are, and then understand what's...
what is alcohol with stroke? Cardiac arrest, what is alcohol to those?
So, once again, alcohol, if you even burst your throat like that, imagine how as it goes down, right? Yeah. Okay. So now, when you do alcohol, it gets to a point where it weakens the system, right? So now, cardiac issues, yes, you can have that. Cirrhosis, yes. Then stroke, yes. And so many others, right? So medically, it does affect you also. So now you are an alcoholic and then you keep drinking, or if even not an alcoholic but dependent. You're dependent, right? You're not addicted. You are not the addiction point yet, but even dependent, you still have problems doing that. So now you become more susceptible to having stroke, right? And then stroke also comes in so many forms. You might have the TIA, you might have the ischemic, you might have the hemorrhagic, right, the bleeding part. So you might have a bleed in the brain and then you have it, right? So all of that does happen. But please, let me also say this, and this is really not scientific, but people use that as a defense. Oh, somebody was in an accident and he was told that if he was not drunk, he would have died. That's not true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not true.
That was my first line. That is a little alcohol is good for the system. So once a time you need to drink.
What you need for the system gets from the kinky.
Operation said
let me tell you why. People who are alcoholics, when you are doing surgery on them, you find more difficulties. Their wounds don't heal faster.
Okay. Those with alcohol? Those
Yes, the alcoholics, like those who drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
They are also, why? Because the tissues are not...
I don't know functional just as the way it is.
And then also, they talk about, alcohol, surgery, those people, even when you give them anesthetist, it doesn't work as much.
Hey.
Yes. So people just use everything as defense, right? And that is why I gave the example of, somebody was in an accident, they said if he was a drunk. How do you scientifically say that if somebody was not drunk, they would have died?
How? Okay.
It's not a clotting factor. It rather thins your blood. So what is the best? But people will give you some of these things just to give you a good reason to get into substance use or abuse. But really, no, it's not. There are also some scientific and health benefits to any drugs at all.
Exactly.
Anything at all. There are some benefits to it, right? Sex is for procreation.
Exactly.
But then if you are a sex addict, master, forget it. That means you go get off the go.
Yeah, it's not for, it destroys marriages.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. So everything has its benefits. And that's why I started this whole conversation on the premise that, one, the fact that they say everything in moderation is good does not mean that everything is also good for consumption.
Exactly. And you also yes that if the fact that it's legal doesn't mean
it's also good for you, right? Yeah. So now some of these things that people talk about, if you do this, you're able to do this. My guy, me, I won't drink. If I want to dance, I will dance the whole time. I won't drink. If I want to talk to someone, I will talk to you. I won't drink, but if I want to go somewhere, I will. Right? So be able to do what you want to do as yourself. And you stay out of trouble.
Exactly. How do we help people in this act? How do we, now they find they are dependent or they are alcoholics. How do we help them?
First of all, let's understand.
Please listen. This part too is very important. Yeah.
First of all, let's understand. It may not be by choice. People get addicted to one thing or the other for various reasons. So do not look down on me because I'm an alcoholic, because you may be a sex addict. Do not look down on me because I'm an alcoholic, because you may be a marijuana user or abuser, right? So, or if even you don't have any of these problems, you don't have to look down on someone because of what they're going through, because there might be one reason or the other for which they got into it. That is one. Two, if you have a better relationship with me, you can help me better. Right? So if you distance yourself from me and then see me as, someone who is a failure, someone who is a menace to the society, then it's very difficult for me to also give any heed to what you are saying. I'm not going to listen, plain and simple. So let's be very cordial with them, have a better relationship with them, and then we'll be able to provide help which they will accept, right? That is the second thing. Now, the person may be in denial as to whether they are alcoholic, but they will not deny as to whether they are a user. Okay. So let's start with why use in the first place, right? So establish why, and then you'll be able to talk to the person as to why not. Because if you don't know the why, if I drink as a coping mechanism, and then you're going to tell me about another risk associated with drinking and not solving my coping skills for me, then you're not solving my problem. So let's understand the why and then deal with the why. Okay? Okay, now, that is the other thing. The other thing also, which is what we can do, therapy. Therapy is also next. So we provide the one-to-one. We go for therapy with a therapist, a professional in this case, because if you did and it did not work, then you have to move on. A therapist in this case, where they could help the person go through the addiction, talk about what happened. It could be from a trauma they had. So now they're using that. So talk about it and all of that, and then help the person get through it. The other thing is also medications, right? So there are medication-assisted treatments for it, MATs. So there are medications that we can give to you, and it will help you not have the cravings, like naltrexone. I don't know if the brand name is still the same in Ghana. I have to practice in Ghana for some months to familiarize myself with the medication. Exactly. So naltrexone, it will help with the cravings for alcohol, right? And then we also have one, Compro 333 or 666. Please, it's not the mark of the beast. It's, it's just the dosage. So either you're taking the 333 or times 2, which is the 666 or times 3. Yeah. So please, it's not the mark of the beast.
And rehab too.
Yes. So you go, you get the medications, and then it helps you. Then also rehab. right? So rehab is a combination of the medication and the therapy, right? Where you stay there for longer. Once again, removing the person from the environment.
Exactly. From the nature.
Right, the nature. So you remove the person from the environment and then give the person a new environment where they'll be able to get more help, a controlled environment where you'll be able to put them on schedule, monitor the cravings, the detox. Let's talk about detox for a minute. Someone going through alcohol detox, hey, Master, that is why quitting is difficult.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Withdrawal. If you drink so much and you start to withdraw, you get sick. So for you not to feel sick or get sick, you have to top up. And that is why they keep drinking.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So just like any other substances,
Okay.
if you're going through the withdrawal process, it's no fun.
It's no fun. Yeah.
No, it's no fun.
That's why you see them, especially the hard drugs people. You see them.
Yes, right. So with alcohol withdrawal, you can be sweating, you can have jittery, you can have palpitations, irritation, and all of that. Sometimes your arms, it's no fun. So for me not to deal with that pain I'm going through, then what's okay, right? So that is the withdrawal. Okay. So also, as part of the withdrawal, this is the worst part, and I'll leave you with this. I've seen patients having DTs, delirium tremors, right, where they were bouncing on the bed, laying flat on the bed, bouncing from the shakes that they have. So once again, the best thing to do with addiction or addictive materials is not to start. First advice. Second, if you are to get into it, please stop it as soon as possible, because as you go along, the worse it gets.
That is the point.
That is the second thing. Once you realize that you need help or somebody approaches you, let you know that you need help, please seek help. There's too much help out there. You can go for just therapy, just medication, or both, right? So please, it's no shame. It's your health, so seek help. And finally, there is no health without mental health.
There's no health without mental health. Senior for you interview. God bless you, Pa, for your time for this educative program. And I know that coming December something will happen, and we I don't know whether a second you talk about, because my time is up. I just know, but a second you can talk about it. My viewers know that when I start talking about it in December, they know what's up, what will be happening. December.
So as my whole goal in life to educate people and help people as I can, right? So in my field, I try to educate people about mental health. Last 2 years, December 2019, we did Feel Good Experience at Tesano Police Depot, and it was well attended, well received. This year, we're trying to replicate it. This time, we want to bring it to people in the school, that generation, that year group. So we're going to plan something, talk about something, and then see which campuses we can we can reach, and then bring these messages to them. So stay tuned.
So when you hear me talking about it, it's about feel good experiences. We need to talk about mental health. Alpha, God bless you for the flyer. Slick Afrik, the fabric. At some point, God bless you. Slick Afrik, Instagram Slick Afrik, Facebook Slick Afrik. Alpha_graphics. That is Instagram, and Alpha Graphics Facebook. Just go there, you see their contact, like them, talk to them, and they will. Slick Afrik will give you the best fabric you want, whatever you want to, just be there. And Alpha Art will put you on your flyer, or anything you want to have. Alpha Art will, as part of, if it is graphics, he's there to help you do that. And I'll thank Senior Filippo Ofori to me for his time here in GH. He has been so blessed this program with his knowledge and wisdom from above. We thank God, and we continue to pray to God to be with him all the time. When we need him, he shall avail himself. Via Zoom, we will be able to add him. And we've done alcohol. Please, if you have never started, don't go in. If you have started, please quit. If you are dependent on it, please seek help. And if you are alcoholic, we are here to help each other. I know that you have questions. I know that you have people. But hey, there's no health without mental health. And when you have Christ, you need to still seek for help somewhere, because God has given people knowledge to help you out. Never ever take alcohol as a relaxative something, because it will ruin your life. Once again, Wounds of the Heart viewers, thank you so much for your time, and God bless you for watching. I've been your regular host, and the name is Pastor Daniel Abedu Bidiaba. I'm out.